Okay. So today I just wanted to discuss and start off the day with a little reaffirmation of Ratzo B'Shov. So I walked in and I was telling Yassi how it was a bit tough to get out the door today. And so Daniel, my buddy Daniel Geffen goes, are we starting the day off with a little bit of complaint? And I said, actually, my complaining is leading to the idea of Ratzo V'Shov. So as I'm walking here, the idea of Ratzo V'Shov is if everything's clicking on all cylinders, you need to continue to grow and set new levels for yourself to a new kind of new goals to attain. And Shov is, if you fall back, never give up. Don't give up. Yalla, keep going. Dust yourself off and just keep going. So this was a Shov morning. Shov for the Dove. And it was about 8:35. That's going to be my next show. Shov for the Dove. The Dove Shov.
Daily dose of Dove.
Daily dose of Dove. Yep. 3 Ds.
But I took that because it's Daily Dose of Daniel.
Well, it'll be a spin-off show.
Finish.
It'll be a spin-off. Like the Colbert Report.
The heck is that?
Oh, it's American stuff. So,
Alright.
so I got a son who's quite a bit under the weather. My mom's visiting. It was a tough morning to kind of get out.
The sun usually is above the weather.
The sun is the weather.
It is the weather.
Inspiration for it. So I was like, you know what? It's like 8:40. I was like, is it even worth it? Is it even worth going? You know, by the time I get there's going to be like 5 minutes. And then I was like, well, what did I just learn with everybody? I just learned the whole idea of like, you got to never give up. 5 minutes? You got 5 minutes. Okay. Yalla. So I sped over here, and here we are, and we got a nice little short Torah chet to move forward with. And yesterday, not really yesterday, but last time, we were talking about the idea of tzedakah and how in order to overcome our Yetzer Hara, Rabbi Nachman says one of the best ways is to give tzedakah for those who need it. And by giving tzedakah, a person is kind of giving of themselves, and it's taking from their hard-earned money and kind of breaking that bit of taiva, that part of inside of it is like, well, I worked hard to do this. Like, I would like to use it for myself. It's like, you know what? Let me break that little bit, and let me give that tzedakah to somebody who deserves it. And therefore, it's one of the ways to break the Yetzer Hara from coming after us when we're trying to move to the next level. So now we're in Torah Chet. Od Eitzel Lezeh. So another Torah to figure out how to break this Yetzer Hara that's continuously coming after us, especially when we're trying to jump up to the next level. Shisamach et atzmo v'yagil v'yasis b'nekudato hatova b'ma shezacha liyot mizer Yisrael. So it seems like he's saying that in order to break the Yetzer Hara, we should kind of bring ourselves joy and be accustomed to kind of singing and praising and looking at the Nekuda Tova, the good point within us, Shezacha liot mizer Yisrael, that we merited to get by being one of the children of Israel. Ulehit karev la'anshe emet shemolichim umadrichim oto b'derech ha'emet. So when we look at the good within us, when we look at it's great to be a Jew, it's amazing to be a Jew, and there's so many positive aspects of being a Jew, then we should kind of take this idea, this strong Jewish identity, and connect to those Anshe Emet, those people who are really on fire and really bringing people close to Torah and mitzvot, and these people can ultimately kind of bring us to the derech ha'emet, the true way of serving Hashem. And therefore we'll have hope. We'll have hope, eternal hope. ועל ידי השמחה הזאת הוא משבר הקליפות שהם המניעות וכולי שבכל דרגה. And by having the simcha of being proud that we're a Jew, and by connecting ourselves to the proudest Jews, those who can kind of help us see to walk down the right path, through this simcha of looking at how great it is to be a Jew and connecting with these people, that will break the klipot, that will break these negative forces that kind of pop up to try to prevent us from reaching the next level. And I remember having a conversation with a Rebbe of mine who was a Hillel director. And he said something changed over the past 5 to 8 years where it was much more difficult to kind of connect with Jews in college campuses. It just, something changed. The past 15, 20 years before that, it was kind of like this constant flow of people who were thirsting to come back to their Jewish roots. But unfortunately, over the past 5 to 8 years, something was going on. And I grew up conservative. I grew up in the conservative movement. And one of the things that I found was, although maybe we might not have had the halachic understanding of Torah and mitzvot, but there was a lot of myself and my friends who were conservative and reform that had a very strong Jewish identity. We were proud to be Jews. We had this, there was a part of us that was just like, it's special, viewed as a special part. And then I started teaching in some of these conservative and reform places, and I started seeing that the Jewish children, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, they no longer had really a sense of pride that they were Jewish. It was kind of like irrelevant. It was like, okay, you're Jewish, Mazel Tov, it's whatever. Like, what does it matter? Like, they really, from the perspective of, well, we're all just equal, and let's just all be this one plethora of humanity. And there's a beauty within that idea. We all should trust each other and love each other and ultimately have peace within each other. But the way that we do that is by being proud of who we are and not forgetting who we are, but embracing who we are and using that to say, yes, there are differences, and differences are okay. It actually highlights us, and let's complement each other, as opposed to forgetting everything. And I view that lack of Jewish identity and that lack of connecting to deep within the Zera Yisrael, that ultimately was what was shutting off as, the kids got to college. They didn't strive to connect with Hillel. They didn't strive to connect with Jewish organizations, and therefore to kind of come back to Torah and mitzvot, that started drying up. And unfortunately, I believe that, we're in a time right now where it's getting less and less and less. And, anti-Semitism is getting more and more and more. And I believe with these types of sources is that the cure to anti-Semitism, at least from the Jewish perspective, is to embrace our Judaism, is to become even stronger Jews, whatever that means, and to be more proud of who we are. And Bezrat Hashem, Rabbi Nachman's telling us is that this is the way in which we can break the Yetzer Hara that's trying to prevent us from coming close to him, is by being proud of who we are and coming close to those people who can help lead us back to Torah and Mitzvot. So, Shkoyach.
Yeah.